Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Aeron. I'm here to discuss WWE Raw. On the WrestleBlog YouTube channel. Now, before I do, I'd like to make a very brief apology. There was no WWE SmackDown review last week, which is really actually getting on my tits, because it feels like it's too late to do it now for the sake of a couple of people, but I really wanted to tear into WWE for their atrocious concept of how to book the Universal title. Oh, everything's going great over here on the Blue Brand. Oh yeah, SmackDown's great. We're regularly getting at least 2 million viewers. We're doing really well. Let's shed the bed just like they do on Raw. Come on, guys, come on! Come on, you've got it all going for you, and Raw is doing its damnedest to make itself look so shit by comparison. Oh my God, what the fuck did I just watch? So, full disclosure, I watched the first half of it live, and then I watched the second half of it the next day, because ultimately I could not restrain myself from the large amount of projectile vomiting that was going on during the first half of this pathetic excuse for a wrestling show. This is what passes for wrestling now, apparently. Holy shit. The first 2/3 of this show are arguably the worst Raw I've seen in many a year. I was getting flashbacks to the John Laryngitis age. Do you remember that age? You know, 2011, 2012, that horrible era of embrace the hatred Kane. Oh, fucking hell. Save us, Team Hell No. Save us, they did, but not before. How is Raw still 3 hours? I'm so sick of this. Why is it 3 hours long? Everyone watching this, tell me below what you would do for 3 hours straight and not get bored. It's going to be a real short list. And anyone who says masturbation, well, frankly, good for you. But ultimately, to be honest, I would have rather ripped my cock off for 3 hours than watch this. This was fucking crap. Now, the last hour was fairly positive, fairly decent. There are a couple of things that really popped me, and I will discuss them at the end because, God forbid, we end on a positive here for once, talking about WWE Raw. But let's go after the things I fucking hate. And let's start with the biggest elephant in the room. And no, it isn't Braun Strowman himself, Shane McMahon. It is your atrocious fucking creative. It is your atrocious delivery of promos. It is this awful, godforsaken shitbag, crapbag that is fucking Braun Strowman versus Shane McMahon at WrestleMania. Why is this a thing? Because Shane McMahon needs to fall off of something to impress Daddy again. But of course, Daddy doesn't give a shit because you'll never be his favourite child, Shane. Let it go, man. Just let it go. This is crap. He comes out, he shows off grade school papers of Braun Strowman. Braun. He's trying to get that over. It's not funny, mate. It's fucking shit, is what it is. Started fast forwarding. I was bored. Also, Jackson Riker and Elias. I mean, they were fucking boring before they associated with Shane McMahon. Now they are just buried. What a fucking joke. Elias is crap in the ring. I don't think he's very good as a worker, but he looks $1 million. Great looking guy, jacked to the gills, fantastic dress sense. Gimmick's not too bad, albeit very stale and very boring. Very much reminds me of Ty Dillinger's 10 gimmick. It's very entertaining, it's very funny for a bit, but it's got no depth whatsoever. What the fuck are they doing out there with this guy? It's like, oh, you know, we don't really have anything else to do. Jackson Riker especially. Jackson Riker is only on screen solely as a troll job because Vince McMahon is a filthy, racist Republican just like him, and he thinks, ha, it's such good shit, put him out there. Everyone on Twitter hates Jackson Riker. Nobody really cares anymore because he just feels like the world's most premium jobber. But again, he's another guy who looks $1 million. Can you not find something useful for him to do? Nah, put him with Shane McMahon, who, by the way, Shane McMahon, why do you sweat so much? Can you not hold or retain any water whatsoever? It doesn't matter where he is or what he's doing. He always looks like a melting waxwork. I have no idea what's going on there. It's just pouring off the guy. Honestly, I'm a little bit worried about him, mate. Drink some more fluids, bro. Drink some more fluids. It's so shit. Braun comes down, destroys people, blah, blah, blah. I'll see you at WrestleMania in a steel cage match. Yeah, because if you look back in history, the steel cage has quite often kept everybody out. Originally, that was the purpose, but then somebody realised, wait a minute, you can climb that quite easily. So it doesn't make any sense to me. And also, it doesn't take that much to get the door off. Now, admittedly, in kayfabe, you could say that Hell in a Cell would have worked quite well. I was worried that's what they were going to go for, and they were just going to repeat what they did at WrestleMania. I think it was 32, where Shane McMahon threw himself off the top of the cell to try and impress Daddy again. Look, Dad, I can fly! Nobody gives a shit, you piece of crap! I don't get it. It's a fucking terrible gimmick. I honestly, this is by far and away one of the worst storylines going into WrestleMania I've ever seen. This fucking sucks donkey balls. That's what it does. Get it off my screen immediately. Speaking of getting things off my screen, Matt Riddle can fucking do one as well. Get in the fucking bin. It's bad enough he got allegations against you and everything that's going on with that, and that's obviously tainted him and soured a lot of people's opinions on him. Shame, because he's a fantastic in-ring worker. However, what the fuck is your gimmick? Everyone who thinks, hey, let's make him RVD 2.0. Hey, he likes weed. Let's give him a scooter. The United States champion with a scooter. The United States champion with a scooter.
Oh my God! Ah! Ah! Ah!
Do I take wrestling that seriously anymore? Not really. I do most of this for entertainment value and to hopefully entertain you guys, but come on. Your United States champion has a scooter. You wonder why people think wrestling is a fucking joke. You wonder why, do you know what? It's so difficult. The older I get, the more I meet people and they're like, hey, what do you do for a living? I work in the wrestling business and, I do my own podcast and all this stuff. And they're like, oh, wrestling. Oh, okay. And then they go and watch it and they think, Jesus Christ. No wonder nobody respects me anymore. Hell, I don't respect me anymore. I certainly respect myself less for watching WWE Raw. This was fucking atrocious and I don't get it. His gimmick is that he just waffles on and Byron Saxton, you insufferable piece of shit. Riddle lives in his own world, doesn't he? Shut up, Byron, you piece of shit. You are the worst fucking colour commentator I have ever seen. What he is the sweaty 5-year-old Mark who will leave you a comment on your YouTube videos going, you just don't get it because... And it's like, mate, it's not real. We all know it's not real, okay? It's funny, wrestling fans get really, really, really pissy if you use the word fake. This shit's fake. This is fake. Nobody's going to tell me this isn't. This is all fucking fake, and it's an embarrassment to the fucking industry is what it is. Even the celebrity involvement shit. All of this fucking terrible segment for one quick YouTube clip of Bad Bunny sparking out in the Miz. What the fuck is that? Why is John Morrison dressed like an inflatable pumpkin? That's a very strange flex. Don't get that whatsoever, mate. Terrible. Send him down to NXT so he can at least have some good matches and entertain people instead of walking around like some weird Plants vs. Zombie cosplay while the Miz fucking goes on forever and ever and ever. Oh, by the way, that music video, hot garbage. Fucking dog shit is what that was. Absolutely atrocious. Their idea of pop culture. It's not funny. It doesn't garner heat. I just think it's pathetic. So I just started fast forwarding. I was like, I'm not going to watch this. I'm like, fast forward, fast forward, fast forward. Here comes Bad Bunny, fast forward. Oh, he sparked down the Miz. Ha! Very funny. Probably the stiffest and most real thing I saw in the entire show. At least until the last hour. Let's talk about something I liked, because I feel like I'm just whinging and moaning for the sake of moaning. Rhea Ripley already feels like the biggest star by a country mile on this show. A country mile. Holy shit. She comes down. Another contract signing and it was good. What the hell's going on here? They seem to have flipped things on their head. All the contract signings are great now. I don't understand this. Rhea Ripley and Asuka, obviously, for the contract signing. Simple. To the point. Not some elongated 10-minute promo about how I need to face you at WrestleMania, Asuka. Oh, I need to prove blah, blah. I was like, nah, mate. You know what? I came here on my first night of Raw, challenged you for the title. Asuka says you're overconfident. Sign the fucking contract, boot the table over, and fucking chin you on the way out. Lovely stuff. Oh my god, they flipped the table right, and it's brilliant. It felt real. It felt like genuine conflict. Rhea Ripley was like, "Don't you fucking disrespect me!" Boom, just fucking levels her with the announce table. Asuka's laying there, bit too long for my liking. However, it does make for good storytelling because, of course, Shayna Baszler kicked her in the chin, so you would think she might be quite susceptible in the mouth region. And then, of course, out comes Shayna Baszler, and Nia Jackson challenges them both to a tag team match next week. Doesn't make any sense. Why? Why would you do that? Although I do like them as microphone workers, and they feel like you're only legitimate heels you've got in the women's division right now, particularly as Peyton Royce doesn't get used and Lacey Evans is away, becoming a mother again. Congratulations, Lacey. Yeah. This women's division sorely needs Rhea Ripley. It's fantastic. Rhea Ripley versus Asuka is going to be fucking incredible. I assume Charlotte Flair is not going to be anywhere near this because they want to punish her for her husband daring to ask for his release. Fuck you, you're a megastar, but we're going to punish you by taking you off the poster. Grow the fuck up, Vince. Grow a pair of balls and grow up, you salty, demented old claptrap. It's fucking pathetic, it really is. Nonetheless, really enjoyed this segment, and I actually really enjoyed the last bit of Raw, which was Drew McIntyre basically decking a couple of midgets and then getting into it with Bobby Lashley. By the way, Ricochet stepping up was great stuff. Drew McIntyre actually in the locker room was quite good. I love the fact that he went in. Now, obviously, they're all jobbers. But I love the fact that he went around the room and berated them. He was berating people for tweeting, saying, oh, is this how we get over nowadays? By going on social media. Drew McIntyre is definitely a throwback. I feel sorry for the guy because he has carried this fucking locker room. Do you know what, right? If you're one of the wrestlers on Raw, and you spend all your time whinging on social media about lists or whatever it is that you want to fucking have a cry about, okay? Think about all the work that Drew McIntyre was putting in while you're sitting there being a fucking nobody with the charisma of an onion. Because he was busting his ass every week, having world-class matches, world-class rivalries, carrying the division, carrying the show during a worldwide, unforeseen pandemic that we've never ever known the likes of in our entire lives. So I genuinely think he's probably legitimately a bit pissed off. I would be. I'd be walking into the locker room every day and saying, what the fuck is wrong with you, Melts? What the fuck are you doing? Pull your thumbs out of your asses. Ricochet. Wow. Utterly fantastic, athletic, physical. I love the juxtaposition of power versus athleticism. Mustafa Ali comes down, shows himself off to be much more of a heel in that way. He did good work as well. He aimed for Drew McIntyre's leg. Drew McIntyre says, right, fuck it, you can have a match as well. He disposes of him. It's great. It's absolutely fantastic. You got to see Drew McIntyre go out there and prove why he is the standard bearer for WWE Raw, because he's the one fucking carrying this product. And he goes out there and has two top quality matches with two guys who, let's be frank, are nothing more than glorified 205 Live athletes, which is a shame because I feel like they could do a lot more. But it's, you know, it's 50-50. The system doesn't help them, but they don't help themselves by whinging like little tarts. Be a fucking man. Go into Vince McMahon's office. Push me or fucking release me, you stupid old prick. And when they say, oh, you know, you got to think about their families, you got to think about... You can't have it both ways. You can't sit there on social media as a wrestling fan and say, oh, they never use my favourite wrestlers properly. But then at the same time, completely defend your wrestler and say, yeah, but ultimately they've got bills to pay. Sorry, but the real strength in character is going out there and realising your own worth. Great stuff. Bobby Lashley comes down. They have this great little jaw-jacking moment, and then a fight breaks out, and then Baron Corbin makes his debut on Raw. Thank God. I say debut. I mean, he's been on Raw before, but, you know, he's a SmackDown superstar, but here he is. Is he taking up his offer? Is he not? Is he going to face Drew McIntyre next week? We don't know. I really hope that Baron Corbin going forward is not only going to be aligned with Bobby Lashley, but also is going to be a part of the Raw brand, because I feel like he's one of the very few genuine heels they have left on this product. Especially as the Hurt Business badly needs a bit of an injection of talent, because they no longer have Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander. You have one relatively decent faction on this entire show, and you break them up. Honestly, Bobby Lashley's going to lose the WWE title at WrestleMania, and then he's going to fade into obscurity, and no one in a year's time will give a shit. They will find it astonishing to believe that this guy was WWE champion. What a fucking shame. It just feels like the inevitable. This is by far and away one of the worst built WrestleManias. However, so was WrestleMania 31 when you look back at it. Had a terrible build, some terrible matches. You know, you had Undertaker versus Bray Wyatt, where Undertaker didn't actually turn up until WrestleMania. It was just Bray Wyatt going out there and putting over the entire rivalry by himself. Yeah, Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns fighting over the WWE title like it was a fucking Lego brick. It's my Lego. Give it. It's my Lego. Don't touch my Lego. My Lego. That's what that was. I was like, what the fuck is that? But WrestleMania 31 itself actually ended up being one of the better wrestling pay-per-views, especially in terms of WrestleMania, that I've seen of the modern era. It was fucking fantastic, especially the heist of the century when Seth Rollins cashed in, and that's kind of the only thing that's making me feel like I should still watch WrestleMania right now, is knowing that this could be pretty paying. I'll tell you one thing, I guarantee Rhea Ripley and Asuka will have easily the match of the weekend. Easily. I have no doubts about it. I think they're going to completely steal the show and prove once again why women should be main eventing. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been Aeron. Thank you very much for watching. Please, please, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. It really helps the algorithm. And of course, if you really, really appreciate the channel, please let your friends know as well, because we want more subscribers. By the way, we are over 300 because of the PC nonsense. We weren't able to give away the free tee or piece of art, so we will be doing that at the end of this week. So look out for that. We'll do it on the SmackDown review because you didn't get one last week, so it feels like we need to really ramp up this week's SmackDown review. review. So we'll be giving away a free t-shirt there, and of course once we get to 400 we'll be doing the same thing, and every 100 subs going forward, ladies and gentlemen. So keep an eye out for that, and most importantly keep an eye out for all of our fantastic interviews. We've got so many more dropping, and we got so many more feathers to ruffle. Turns out I'm becoming the most hated man in British wrestling again, and I'm okay with that, man, because here people have a fucking voice, and we don't cower and we don't curtail to people's politics and bullshit. I'm Aeron Nix, and I'll catch you very soon for more content from the Wrestle Blog.